Now, police in KwaZulu-Natal have just briefed the media on their safety and security measures ahead of tomorrow's much-anticipated Soweto derby that is happening for the Nedbank Cup finals. Letiwe Ndlovu attended that briefing and joins us live now. Stern messages certainly from the police there, Letiwe.
Absolutely. We heard how, firstly, there's going to be quite a few booths on the ground, but also speaking about the ticket issue that a lot of people have also been quite concerned about. And I know that the police are currently trying to identify some of those people that could possibly be inciting violence. And I just want to bring them into the conversation now. Major General, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. Firstly, just to talk about your concerns when you are looking at the ticket issue.
Our concerns about the ticket issue started on Monday during the day of the sale of tickets, when we got to hear that there was an oversale, or more than the capacity of tickets were sold to the public. Then we started getting worried. That is when we asked for audience from the PSL, which was granted to us. And that was clarified to say, yes, there was indeed an oversale of tickets, but it was resolved online. In other words, those that bought tickets over and above the capacity have been refunded, and they were communicated, or they were told that their tickets are not going to be issued, so they will be invalid and were refunded. So our fears were allayed. And the final word that we got from the PSL is that the people that have valid tickets or will have valid tickets tomorrow are people that will be sufficient for the stadium. In other words, they will be in line with the capacity of the stadium.
And you bring on the topic of valid tickets. My next question is actually on fake tickets. What of those people that are going to have fake tickets? What is the offense there?
There is an offense, obviously, like I said. First of all, fake tickets. Some people will sell or will duplicate tickets and then sell them to unsuspecting victims. And some people will sell tickets, and they are not necessarily allowed to sell tickets. That is why we are saying whether you are selling fake or authentic tickets, that is not allowed in terms of the law. So we'll deal with them decisively.
I know that during the briefing you spoke about how there's people that are inciting violence or could possibly incite violence. You did mention that you are currently looking for those people. Speak to us about that. I know currently there isn't an arrest that has been made, but speak to us about that.
When we look, or when we view all the statuses and all the media platforms, we see these people that are saying that there's not going to be any match, they're going to block the road, and so forth and so on. To us, that is incitement of violence, and we're not going to tolerate that. Hence, we have deployed our forces to look for those individuals, and we'll deal with them in terms of the law as well.
And then lastly, just looking at the safety and security measures that you are going to be implementing. I know you touched on them during your briefing, but perhaps just to reiterate some of them, just to ensure that people coming from different provinces do feel safe.
We have mentioned that we are going to close some of the routes into the stadium. Some roads will be closed. Initially, we had planned to close those roads partially, but taking the threats and possible threats into consideration, those or some of those roads are going to be fully closed. In other words, the soft closure is now going to be turned into hard closures at some routes, without having to disadvantage those that have valid tickets to come to the stadium. We're going to allow them to come in. There's different avenues or different routes into the stadium that will allow them to eventually get to the stadium.
A message for those that could possibly be looking into breaking the law tomorrow?
If you want to break the law, please reconsider that. We do not want to clash with football lovers. If you did not get the ticket, unfortunately, you have to either use the public viewing areas that are provided for by the municipality, or stay at home, or find another hangout spot where there's going to be gatherings to view the match instead of coming to next to Mozambique to cause havoc. It's not our intention to fight or to be in conflict or to clash with football lovers. So let us have the day of tomorrow, the final, in peace without having to fight with anyone.
Major General, thank you so much. I think just before I close, perhaps just to highlight some of the safety and security measures coming from RTI leading into tomorrow.
Thank you very much for that. I think as the Road Traffic Inspectorate, we are deploying our members on the main routes leading to and from the stadium. From the north on the N3 at Van Renen Pass, the into Pongola, and also coming from the N2 on the south from Coxted this way, because we understand that there will be spectators coming from various areas. And our deployments are in place, as the General has highlighted, in terms of the plan that we have together with them. So we will have people out there making sure that it's safe for them to get through.
Thank you so much. And of course, in terms of Metro, you did mention that there's 2 roads that are going to be closed. Perhaps just to highlight how traffic is going to be diverted.
The traffic will be diverted on Masabalala to Isaya down to Sylvester Ntuli, so they can get entrance on Mastering Field, Durban Drive-In, as well as People's Park East. Then it's going to be also diverted on Smithson-Kwanyane towards Umgeni. Those who, the parking that is at Kings Park, they will enter via Jekyll Jackson.
Any concern about people possibly blocking roads?
We heard something of that sort on the social media, but we're going to deal with it decisively.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. And as you heard from that conversation, there's a lot of boots that are going to be on the ground leading into tomorrow's game. And of course, if you are looking to break the law, as you heard from that conversation, reconsider.
Slethiwe, thank you so much for bringing us that one. It's certainly significant there when it comes to those security protocol that will be adhered to for tomorrow. Thank you so much for bringing us that one. We're going to take you back then to